Congrats to Virginia Tech. They're a good basketball team that's playing well right now. And the shooting display that they had in the first half was as good as any as I've seen in a really long time. We knew coming in that they were an outstanding three-point shooting team, and they just had us on our heels from the beginning of the game, from the first 20 minutes of the game. Really disappointed and, to be quite frank, embarrassed with how we played in the first half in all facets of the game. Equally as proud of how well we fought in the second half. Our guys fought every possession and didn't do everything right, but there was a sense of urgency and we played hard. And we have to understand that's what's required for 40 minutes in order to have some semblance of a decent team. And we didn't do that tonight. So disappointing in the loss.
Do you get the feeling from the locker room that the guys are sitting there saying, well, you just said that, all right, we know what we have to do, we just need to do it for 40 minutes?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I wish I can get into their minds and tell you what they're thinking. I was asked on the radio, like, what did you say at halftime? I'm not really sure what I said, but it's February 5th. I shouldn't have to say anything. Like, it's the time of the year where guys should know, like, the value of every game, every possession, every minute, every second in each game. And it's disappointing that we didn't show that for the first 20 minutes.
Jeff, you talk about valuing basketball. You feel like your guys just didn't do that?
I don't know why we didn't play well in the first half. I don't know why we didn't defend to the level that we did in the second half. I'm not really sure. But there was no energy on our part, and it was embarrassing. As embarrassing as it was, I was really proud of how we were in the second half, because it was like Jekyll and Hyde. It was like a switch, and it became contagious for the most part. And so, we have to be able to do that. We have to understand who we are and what's required, to have a chance to beat someone.
Jeff, Femi told us after the last game that he was told before that game that he hasn't been himself. Since then, he has played better. What have you seen in how it has changed how he approaches things, or is leading to he's had two better performances?
I think he's made shots in 2 games. I think he's had pretty good energy in 2 games, and he's been aggressive. But the main thing is that he's made shots.
Jeff, what does John have to do better to see what's happening with the double teams? It seemed like he was doing that better early in the season, but in this game he only had 2 points.
He's got to do everything better. He's got to understand that he can impact the game in more ways than just scoring, and at times he's done that. But he's got to talk defensively. He's got to be up on screens. He's got to be in a stance. He's got to defend the ball screen. He's got to protect the basket. All of those things. You got to rebound. On offense, if you're not scoring, you have to screen. You have to roll hard. If you are getting doubled, you have to be able to make decisions without turning the basketball over. You can't get frustrated. Like, you have to play. You have to play, and you have to play every possession. And it's unfortunate that he didn't do that. But we didn't do that. It wasn't just him. I'm not singling one person out. We didn't do that for 20 minutes. We did do it for 20 minutes in the second half.
Is there a formula or like a common strategy for defending John that you're seeing from opponents?
Well, teams are doubling him. They're doubling him before the catch. They have a guy sitting in his back pocket. They have a guy kind of side fronting them, and they're just pinching the court. And so it's requiring us to have movement, guys to make some shots, and different things like that. They're being very physical with them, but all of those, it's all of those things that they're doing.
Jeff, at halftime or maybe right before you guys took the court for the second half, did you notice a different kind of determination in your team?
No, I didn't know what I was going to get.
Jeff, you've been around basketball for a long time. When you've seen teams that have struggled in first halves and had turnarounds like this, what are things that normally get a team out of this, or what do you see need to see from your guys differently to stop having such slow starts?
Yeah, we need to play better. Plain and simple, we need to play better. There needs to be a sense of urgency to start the game. There needs to be a sense of urgency after the first media timeout. There needs to be a sense of urgency at the 10-minute mark. There needs to be a sense of urgency every second of the game.
What was the message after that first media timeout? Because you guys didn't have a bucket at that point.
We have to move, but the main thing was that we have to play defense. We have to move. We have to have movement. We're just standing. The ball is sticking. We have to move.
Femi, Jeff told us that the energy has to be better in the first half. What have you seen from your team that's leading to these slow starts that you guys are having?
I don't want to say like it's our offense, but our offense is making us have a slow start. We don't see the ball going through the hoop. We feel like we're supposed to make those shots and stuff like that, and it doesn't translate to the defense. That's why Virginia Tech came out how they came out.
What kind of flip was switched? Was it something in the locker room, or what felt different, I guess, to start that second half and rolling into it?
Yeah, we had to talk in the locker room. Today I actually spoke up and said some words to my teammates about like just playing. Sometimes we feel like robots and doing the stuff like within the play. We just got to be aggressive and take the open looks.
What you said about, offense leading to defense and maybe offensive struggles leading to some defensive letdowns. Your coach has talked about that a bunch of times in here with us. How much has he tried to press you guys on that, to not let offense carry over to defense?
He preaches to us every day about it, the situation, and we watch a lot of film about it. It's just, I don't know, we're not clicking.
You seem to be very aggressive, taking, even when guys are on you, you're taking shots and you're making them. Is that the mindset that you acquired from the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I told everybody I'm tired of letting everybody down, and people say I'm struggling and stuff like that, so I'm just going to be aggressive and look for my teammates and look for me.
I mean, as a leader on this team, what will you do, or what do you think you guys will do before the game starts on Monday to have a better start?
I'm actually going to talk to everybody like in a group and tell them what it is before the game start, and it's just going to have to play out like that.
When you have a second half like you had tonight, does that make you want to, get the rematch sooner? Make you want to play them tomorrow if we have to, right?
Yeah, I feel like got to come back out and trying to get the win. We've been struggling, and I feel like we could beat this team, so we just got to do the little things to win.
What are things that you've seen from John that he has to improve as a teammate? Because you've commented before about things, like when he picked up his play, you pointed out, like, hey, these are things we've been talking to him about. He only had 2 points today, because, wasn't doing as well on defense. What are you telling him as a teammate to help him through that?
His positivity. He always got to have his head up, even though it's not his night. Maybe he's turning it over and not scoring. He just got to keep being the person we know, the energy guy, smiling around, just being the good teammate that he is.
Do you think he puts his head down sometimes in those rough points?
Yeah, I think he puts too much pressure on him, so he gets frustrated when he turns over the ball and just not playing how he wants to play. So he just put more pressure on him.
It seemed like there were times that you and Jamarius were like feeding off of each other. You guys forced a turnover where I think you tipped it and then saved it out of bounds, and he did the same thing, and both of you were doing that. What's it been like growing with him as a teammate in the backcourt and the chemistry you guys are building?
It's been going pretty good. I want to say we're still learning from each other, and from this standpoint and his standpoint, we just trying to like piggyback off each other. So some things I say to him and some things he'll say to me.
Mo got into some foul trouble in the second half. How did that affect what you guys wanted to do on both ends of the court?
Affects a lot because Mo, he can space out the court, he can shoot it, he can change shots and stuff like that. So lately he been getting in foul trouble, and we trying to prevent that from happening. So we gotta just keep him on the floor. So we're gonna start helping him and doubling down.
You said we. Is that like a team effort? How can you guys all kind of do that to help him out?
Just by a little stunt and recover, because most of his fouls come from the post or somebody getting backdoor cut. Just little stuff like that where Mo got to try to help us. So we just, as a team, got to play together on the defensive end.
I mean, you went down at one point in the second half, and Jeff was over top of you. Can you explain what happened in that sequence, and what was hurting when you went to the locker room, and what allowed you to come back out?
I rolled my ankle again, and lately it's just been rolling it this whole season, and it's just been in pain. And he came over to me and started talking to me, just telling me to breathe, be calm, stuff like that. And the funny person I am, I started thinking about Paul Pierce, because for some reason, when Paul Pierce came out the tunnel, he had a wheelchair, came out the tunnel and started playing again. It just made me think of that moment. And I saw the score, and I didn't want to let nobody down, so I just got up, and my trainer and I just retaped it again and took a Tylenol, and I remember right back out.
Did you have a level of pain in the second half or when you came back?
Yeah, but I got to fight through it. That's what Brooklyn people do, fight through it.
Did you ask them if they could bring you out in a wheelchair?
I didn't ask that. That's too dramatic. That's too dramatic.
Don't give many ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a game earlier this season where you had like a similar injury. I think you rolled your ankle and you came out. I think you guys had a game. It was like a split from Saturday to Tuesday, and this is going to be Saturday or Monday, how do you think you got to approach that to make sure that you are ready for Monday? Because that's even quicker turnaround.
Just little stuff like treatment, coming in early with the trainer, doing stuff at home. I actually watch a lot of YouTube videos for free yoga. So just little stuff like that to just get my body recovered.